All right. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming. For those that are joining via Zoom, this is the emotions class. So this is gonna kind of just be laid back. We're gonna follow along with the handouts and then just ask if you have questions. We'll pass around some of the oils as well. So for those online, if you happen to have your emotional oils, just pull them out and we'll be using them as we go. Okay, so the handout that we're using is this guy for those of you online, and we will post this somewhere or email. We can always email it, so just ask whoever invited you to the invitation and we'll get it emailed to you. Okay, so emotions, we all have them, don't we? All right, so can you see our screen, Jenny?
I can, yep.
Perfect, okay. Okay, let's do, oh, did this work? Oh, okay, so now we're gonna pretend we're at a rave. Just kidding, come on. Everything else is working.
Oh, there.
Maybe it's the cord.
It is. There must be loose somewhere. There you go.
Don't, nobody breathe, nobody breathe. Okay, oh, this is good. This is better than I thought it would be. All right, so now, perfect. Would you like to be more happy, connected, and empowered? I mean, really, who does not want that? Raise your hand. Okay, no. Okay. Okay, so this is basically what we're going to cover. Oop, let's move this box up. Yeah, we get the gist. There we go. The science behind emotions and essential oils, tools and habits for healthy body chemistry, and then practical emotional wellness steps that you can take now. Okay, I'm going to try to follow my notes in case I miss something. Oops. Oop. And we're back. There we go. Okay, so we are created to function as a whole. So this is the wellness triangle, basically. So body, mind, spirit on all the corners, and basically nourishing the body will nourish the spirit, which nourishes the mind. Kind of get that, how it flows? So they're inseparably connected and communicating all together at a cellular level. Your body is made up of intelligent cells wired to restore health. So it basically means that your body is brilliant in design and naturally wants to be balanced and whole. Okay. So basically today we're going to learn how you can claim the gift of wellness, just basically how to empower yourself and how to take control of this. Okay, so emotions are information carrying molecules, that's what's hiding behind that window there, that bind to and react with cell receptors. They get into the cells and they impact cell function and behavior. So kind of what it's showing there, the little V is the receptor site on a cell, and more what we'll talk about too is how everything can affect even your emotions, but even on a cellular level. So I think, let me make sure I don't get ahead of myself. I'm going to say it now, just to, and then if I get to the point where I needed to say it later, then I already covered it. So basically, does anybody have a scent that you smell and it reminds you of something? Like when I smell spearmint, which is why I handed out the spearmint scratch and sniff cards. When I smell spearmint, it reminds me of my grandma. When she would come to visit during the summer, we had mint plants and we would pick the leaves and we'd make mint tea. So really I associate that with her. And the color teal, strangely enough too, when I see that, I am reminded of her and the same feeling that I get from her. So the cell receptor, basically when I'm smelling spearmint, that's hitting my cells and that's giving me the emotion, the feeling, the warm fuzzy that I'm getting. Does that make sense? Okay, so also negative can happen the same way. So the same thing happens to me, well, in a negative way when one of my grandmothers likes to use the Glade oil diffuser things that plug into all the outlets. Yeah, I can't do it. I go over to her house, I smell them, and it's a toxic response is what happens to my body, and I instantly get a stomach ache, a migraine, and I have to leave the house. Like I have to get fresh air, and it goes away as I get fresh air. So you can see how it can go both positive and negative. So that's really what we talk about when with the receptor sites and impacting at a cellular level. It really does. Scents and aromas and things like that can really impact our health in ways that you wouldn't even think about. So emotions are processed throughout the body. So we're going to talk more about the three brains. Science reveals there are complex neural processing functions in the gut, heart, and mind. So this is my favorite class to teach because I have my own personal story around gut health and emotions and the mind. So really how it all affects everything together and how it completely destroyed my life and how I regained my health. So I'll get to share a little bit about that. Okay, so our three brains are the mind, the heart, and the gut, of course. So the mind is like the conductor directing the body to feel emotionally and behave physically. The heart discerns the message our brain receives, and then the gut responds accordingly, distributing health or illness to the rest of our body. So kind of like what I was saying before. Okay, so this little lady, the three brains communicate with each other. They feed back to and therefore influence the mind. So this lady is going to give us our little demonstration here. Here is me. I mean, or you, really. So, do you have a dog? Okay, so this is you. Yeah. With a baby and a dog, and the phone rings, and you're like, ah! So what happens? Okay, what's happening in this moment? Basically, this is like a snapshot in her mind. So she's like, okay, can't do it, can't handle it. I'm freaking out, right? So here's the messages. Here's what she's processing. Her brain saying, I have to figure this out. Her heart says, I feel totally overwhelmed. And then her gut says, I'm stuck. And you know that stuck feeling means you can't poop. That's really what's happening. Like you get all this happens, and then you can't poop. So it all backs up. So I have to figure this out. She's really saying like, this is my responsibility. The heart, I feel overwhelmed, or maybe I'm holding too much. And then the gut reinforces it with the I'm stuck, and I don't know what to do.
That's why I can't shit.
So then her reaction, biochemical reaction occurs. One may feel conflicted, confused, even notice an unsettled stomach. How many times does that happen, right? That's the one thing that a lot of people associate. When you've got frazzled or you've got something nervous going on, or a stressful, that fight or flight, you feel it in your stomach, right? That's one of the most common feelings that we feel. So the negative reactions are the consequence of the conflicting messages which disrupt in the internal balance. So this results in disconnection or disease. Dis-ease. Get it? The play on words there. Okay, so now what happens is she subconsciously, basically, at the same time is creating a new belief of I'm not good enough, because she couldn't handle it, right? So in the example, she's concluding I'm not good enough. We're always either reinforcing old beliefs or planting new ones. So nurturing a belief produces a fruit. So are you cultivating a seed or fruit or a weed? So that's why she's got the apple and then the weed. Okay, so we're going to play around with a little bit of oils here. So, I forgot that it pulls in some other oils. Can you be my lovely assistant? Okay. So some of the oils that we're going to play with.
Balance. I put balance.
Yeah, Frank, I have balance over here, but I need frankincense. So there are 4 emotional oils that we had in place before our emotional aromatherapy set came in. So Serenity, Balance, Citrus Bliss, and Elevation are the blends that we had before. And then now we have the 6, so that's these. I don't know if you can see the caps or if it even matters. So then there's the 6 emotional aromatherapy, which is cheer, motivate, passion, peace, console, and forgive. So we're going to play with balance first and frankincense. Yeah, you can get that. Thank you. So really we have 10, when you think about it, 10 total emotional oils. You want to just
that
that
are all blends.
So what? Okay, so let me make sure we're not doing anything crazy. Oh, we are. So balance. Okay, calming and grounding to the central nervous system. So it contains frankincense, which is a powerful cleanser and magnifier that opens the mind's eye. So what we're gonna do is apply.
I do.
Let's smell. Let's hold balance in our hand. Cup it. Rub your hands together. Smell, and then apply a drop of balance to your third eye. This is right up Shannon's alley.
I've got the third eye also too. Got opal toes. You want me to bring them out?
If you want, I mean, it's I don't mind using them either. So yeah. So this is balance. I love balance. It's got some spruce in there, some blue tansy, oak wood. Yep. Anything woodsy.
We'll do this. There, now just put it on your third eye, right between. There's a pineal gland there. And then so it goes into the gland.
Oh,
and it
you guys.
grounds you.
Told me my water bottle. I'm just totally doing
I wasn't going to pay attention.
Oh, good. Okay.
I was looking over it. Yeah.
Oh, I've forgotten to drink water today. I know. Yeah, balance is a great one for babies. It can calm them.
Yes.
Oh, you like that?
One of our car keys.
Did you?
Maybe now that you said something.
Is it empty or is it just having a hard time?
It,
Okay.
like, you know, some of the balance ones.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Jen, do you have balance?
We're looking here. Ashley's got.
No.
Oh, we don't know.
The only two doTERRA that I have are peppermint and lavender.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you could always send her some samples or
Yeah.
something of these
I'm gonna
ones that we
send
talked
her some
about.
deep blue, so I'll
There you
send
go.
you some of the. She's got cheer, but I know that, but yeah, I'll send you some samples.
You have cheer.
Where's it?
roller. You didn't like it.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, grab it.
Nah. It's a good one.
This fractionated oil, I assume.
There's actually a little bit of coconut oil in balance already, so which is kind of cool. But I used to do, like, my son Elliot used to get hiccups a lot, and someone told me to put balance on his foot, and I think it was even like the big toe or something wacky like that. It totally took him away. I don't know what that's about, but there's also a really cool YouTube video on balance. If you get on YouTube and just search doTERRA balance, there's a video of cells. So you'll see cells under a microscope, and they're kind of clumped together at first. So they basically drew the person's blood, microscope, checked it out, put balance on the bottom of their feet, waited 5 minutes, drew their blood again, and then you can see the cells break free and start to unclump. So that's really what it's doing in our body, right? Yep, thinning things out, getting things moving, motion and flow. So yeah. Okay. Emotions and essential oils interact chemically. Because both emotions and essential oils are chemically based, a powerful reaction occurs as they make contact within the body. Essential oils are very chemically complex, which is why each oil is able to have so many uses and applications. Okay. And we're going to move. We use a couple different ones that are not emotional oils, but I kind of like that. So, wild orange. I'm going to grab wild orange, Shannon. So, ooh, there it goes.
Sweet orange.
Losing connection. Let's make sure that's secure. So this means they're efficient in detoxing the cells and restoring proper cell function. So it's amazing how biochemical or biocompatible essential oils are with the body. I think you're a healthy biochemistry. Yep, perfect. Okay, so wild orange. So this one is citrus fruits. For just as a side note, citrus fruits are extracted from the rind of the fruit. So that's going to be, it's going to give you a little bit different scent, a little bit more potent oil than you would get from the actual fruit. A lot of people say I put lemon in my water. Well, you're squeezing the fruit. When you're putting a lemon essential oil in, you're getting it from the rind. So very different. It also doesn't break down the enamel of your teeth, the essential oil, versus the fruit can do that. So a lot of people love wild orange in the diffuser. It can be uplifting. Citruses for most people are uplifting. And to some, they can be calming. So anxiety is a great example with wild orange. This can really calm the heart, calms heart palpitations. So actually that's with my last two, that's how I knew I was pregnant. I would wake up 5 minutes after I fell asleep with my heart racing. So I couldn't figure out what that was about. And so wild orange, actually, I just would put a couple drops over my heart and pass out like a baby. So to some, it can be uplifting. It would be something you'd pick you up in the middle of the day. Some, it can be calming. So a lot of the oils, because we're all chemically different, will react different to each person. So, and peppermint can be the same way. Peppermint's a great combo with wild orange. It can balance both hemispheres of the brain. So no matter which person you are, if a peppermint is uplifting to you or calming to you, or wild orange can be uplifting or calming. Either way, it balances you out. So.
Oh, like my Facebook post. Somebody posted that. I don't know what it was.
What?
Here's the Zoom people.
Here, smell it. Smell it.
Oh, it smells so good.
Cool. If that works, that would be really cool.
Technology.
I know, right? You're like, wait, what kind of computer do you have?
Yeah, I was like, what did I miss?
Okay, so 1 drop of essential oil is equivalent to 40 million trillion molecules. So these chemical compounds service every cell of the body in a matter of minutes. So this is why, this is why putting them on the bottom of the feet is good. The pores in the feet are larger. They can absorb. Also sensitivity to, like, skin sensitivity is less on the bottom of the feet than it could be on another part of the body. So when in doubt, bottom of the feet is a great place, especially with kids and babies. You always want to dilute with babies, and then bottom of the feet is a great place. Even like stomach stuff, I would put Digesten just on my kiddos' feet, and it would help with stomach stuff. So it will circulate throughout the body within a matter of minutes. So when in doubt, bottom of the feet is always a good place. And then with kids and babies, dilution is the key too. And really adults, honestly, like I've gone more and more towards diluting. For one, spreadability. You'll notice when you put these oils in the hand, they absorb real quick.
Like it's gone.
Yeah.
You only have
A matter of seconds. Yeah. So by combining it with some type of a carrier oil, carrier oil, you can spread it easily. Plus, it helps it to absorb. A carrier oil can help to drive it into the skin as well, as if it needed a faster mode of driving into the skin. But it works. It can also trap it on the skin too, so that it doesn't flash off. So
I also put Digesten in between my dog's toes. Pads with me. Her tummy. She has a really sensitive tummy.
Oh,
and that works.
Or behind.
you do that for her because she's got dogs that have.
between the pads.
Yeah.
So Lael's just sharing how she puts Digesten in between the pads of her dog's feet to help with their tummy issues. So
Yeah.
you just put it straight.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a little random tip.
I'm very sensitive. So, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
she
good to know.
has. If she gets any people from her stomach is in just in turn.
Okay, so because of the chemical complexity, essential oils promote emotional and a physical detox. They help remove conflicting cellular messages and encourage cellular restoration. So they support the receptor sites of the surface of the cells, reviving and enhancing them. This is one of the reasons essential oils do not carry side effects. They go to the cell effectively after they bind to the receptor of the cell surface, and then this efficient process enhances the cell's function. Also, essential oils are able to restore and maintain the state a cell is naturally and intelligently designed to embody. So similar to the DDR prime blend that we have, the damaged DNA repair gets to the cellular level, helps to restore and rebuild. But basically just saying how all of the oils have that ability to get to the cells and restore, really. So the body's in a constant state of trying to get back to what it naturally and originally was designed to be. So by enhancing it with the oils is how we get there. Pretty much is what this is saying. So let's go to the peppermint leaf. So this is the peppermint leaf magnified. The little white sac there is the oil sac. So this is where we get the essential oil from, that little oil sac. So the oil sacs sitting on the surface of the peppermint leaf in the magnified photo are volatile life force of the plant. Essential oils course through the plant as its lifeblood, so think like our circulatory system, helping the plant defend, nourish, and repair itself. Essential oils have the same function in the plant as blood has to the human body. So just plants in our bodies are very similarly built. That's why they work so well on our bodies, whereas something more synthetic or man-made may not work as well with our bodies because it's not built the same way that we are. So the quality and grade of essential oils will determine its effectiveness. So the certified pure therapeutic grade is what we have with doTERRA. The safest, purest ways, oils to use for supporting the physical and emotional needs of your body. The chemical compounds in the CPTG oils are friendly to the body's natural biochemistry. So, and this is a lot of really why I got into doTERRA. I had used other oil companies before and actually grew up on another very large one that's out there. So very familiar with them, went to school at Aveda then and used Aveda oils for a while. And then as I got out, I went for massage and aesthetic licensing. And so when I got out of school, while I was working on my licensing, I was searching for an oil company and found doTERRA and really dove into the difference. And that's why I ended up choosing doTERRA, just because of the big difference. So I don't think I'll just touch on that, especially since you're new. I'll just touch on that, and that way we cover that part of it too, so you kind of get like a basics in here too. But so really with the therapeutic grade, there's multiple grades of oils that are out there. There's the food grade, synthetic stuff, like that's what's in lotions, candles, that kind of thing. So the therapeutic grade is the wide variety that's out there, found at all the health food stores. You can order them anywhere, really. Wide category, so it's hard to choose exactly which ones would be a better therapeutic grade. And because there's no regulating on essential oils, they can call it 100% pure, and it may or may not be. So this is really where diving into the root of the company, like how they grow them, how they harvest, distill, test, all of that is the important thing. So what I found with doTERRA was that there is a giant difference between what they do with theirs and what you find in other stores or with some of the other companies that sell as well. So they take kind of the therapeutic grade process and really just rev it up. So they start by harvesting their plants in places around the world where they're indigenous. So you get a pure form of the plant when it grows in a place that it would grow wild. So this is really the key, kind of. We can grow lavender here. I could grow it in my backyard if I wanted, but it doesn't mean that that's going to be a pure and potent form of the plant. So our lavender, for example, is grown in France, where it grows wild. So they have farmers that are really dedicated to doTERRA alone. I think we're close to 90% of the farmers now are exclusive to doTERRA, and within the next year we'll be at 100. So that all the farmers are only growing for doTERRA. What can happen with essential oils is a farmer can grow a plant, distill an oil, and then sell their oil off to multiple oil companies. So say one company that you buy in the health food store it might work great one time. Awesome. It probably came from, Joe in France at that point. Well, the next time you go to buy that oil, maybe the company bought it from another farmer in a different country. Or locally, something like that. So there's not consistency between what you're getting in that company's oils. And you also don't know the testing process. You don't know what happened during the growing, during the harvesting, during the testing. You don't know all of that because there's inconsistencies with the farmers. So this is really what came down to, for me, the decision was like, I want that consistency. I want guaranteed every time that I'm going to be able to trust this oil and know what I'm putting on my body and my kids, my family, and you know what I mean. So if you do what you need to do. I don't do. We've all had babies here, so mine Jennifer, so yeah. She's been around it, so yeah.
So the other important thing that you guys always, the point you make also is that peppermints always smell like peppermint, not like candy canes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually just had someone comment about that online recently. They said that they had noticed it wasn't smelling the same, and truly, peppermint can range. We've had seasons where our farm will get a lot more condensation, or moisture, not condensation, moisture like rain. It might be a rainier season, and it actually does change the way the peppermint smells. But I noticed that some people will be looking for that like candy, that's similar to almost peppermint extract, really, that type of a smell with peppermint oil, and it doesn't smell that way. So if you are smelling candy out of your peppermint, then that's probably a pretty good clue that there's either something added in there, or it's just not right. It's not a pure oil. So yeah, that's a good point. Thank you. Yeah, so it'll range, and like with doTERRA, we were out of Roman chamomile for a couple of years. We were out of Melissa for a couple of years. I know they pulled batches of peppermint before when it tested wrong, and they don't even sell it. So it's just one of those things where they once they get the plants, or once they get the oils, it's harvested locally at the farms. Obviously harvested, distilled at the farms, and then it's shipped off to a third party. And the third party does, now it's 11 steps. When I first started with doTERRA, it was actually 3 steps. So every year they add more testing. Anytime there's new technology or testing that comes out to prove purity and potency of a plant, they'll implement it. So we're up to 11 steps now. This third party does all of these tests on each barrel that comes in, each batch of oil. Even if it's 2 barrels from the same farm, they test both just to make sure that there was consistencies between it. And of course, when they're at the farms, they're being grown with no, toxins, no chemicals, pesticides, nothing like that. No pollution even. Yeah, a lot of times they're harvested and taken off to the distillery by horse and buggy so that we don't get car fumes into the plant. So really whatever they can possibly do to minimize any form of toxins getting in is what they'll implement. So once they're tested, then they're bottled and shipped off to doTERRA if it's a good oil and passes all the tests. If not, they will literally throw the batch out. So now they still pay the farmer, which is the cool thing. The farmers get paid either way, but they have to do some tweaks. And like what happened with our Roman chamomile and Melissa's, we just were not getting good batches back. And so we had to leave that farm and go to another farmer. So, and a lot of what the humanitarian side of doTERRA is just kind of a side note, but it's something that I really love to highlight. So doTERRA has what they call Healing Hands Foundation, and they implement what they call co-impact resourcing. So with the Healing Hands money that they raise, they turn around and put this back into co-impact resourcing with their farmers. So they turn it around, put it back into the communities of the farms. So that could be building a clinic for the local farmers, a school for the kids. Haiti did a clean water supply so that a big majority of their village would walk for miles every day to pull buckets back that they'd have to boil the water then in order to just be able to drink it. So we've got a milk drunk baby over here. Is he being overserved at the bar?
That's awesome.
I overserve myself at my own bar sometimes too. So anyway, they I just love how they implement it back into or take that money, put it back into the community. The point is to really pamper, for lack of a better word, I guess, the farmers, keep them loyal to us. We really want them to love doTERRA, love that they work with us, have a partnership with us. It's not we're employing you, it's a partnership. It truly is. They go out and they visit and they really build a relationship before they even decide to partner with the farmers. So, and they become kind of family to a lot of the executives. They'll pull them back, have a speak at conventions sometimes, which is really cool to see the head of the farm and have them speak to what maybe doTERRA has done different on their farm and how it's changed their lives. So just really cool things to see. So that's kind of the whole about doTERRA and why it's different. Really, that's what made me jump to doTERRA and choosing them as an oil company. Which I wanted to implement with my massage and aesthetic business once I was licensed, but sharing doTERRA just took off for me and I never got licensed. So. Okay, so that was a side note. So let's see. Let me make sure I covered everything in my notes. Yep, pretty much. Okay, so peppermint, here we go. So mental support and focus, peppermint's great for that. Mental fog. So kind of back to what I was saying with the wild orange and peppermint. It can be either way for depending on which side of the brain you are or which type of person you are. So peppermint can be great for some to uplift, really hone in on your focus. It's a great sinus cavity clearing device. So really will open up the airways. And some people it actually calms and puts them to sleep. So I know of a Devola who who it will calm and put her to sleep. So if you're ever on a road trip with her, you do not diffuse peppermint in the car if she is the driver. So okay, so let's see. Oh, we're going to go through some of the ways that we can use. So most of us know this, but and these are speaking of doTERRA specific, so I don't want there to be any confusion. When I talk about the ways that you can use these oils, it's specifically for doTERRAs because I can't speak to all the other brands that are out there. So aromatically, so smell is one of the fastest ways to affect the mood. The aromatic molecules have direct access to the limbic area or emotional seat of the brain. So right into your nose helps affect the limbic, and it just like the spearmint. I smell it, I instantly am transformed back to summer days with grandma and spearmint tea. You know what I mean? So, and how many times do you smell something and within a matter of minutes it can trigger, either calmness or maybe you've got some anxiety, you smell something, okay, you're bringing it down a little bit, or you need to, some uplifting or to release some anger, something like that. Or even smelling something and it can help to settle your stomach a little bit more. Or let's think the opposite direction. Smelling something and it totally upsets your stomach. Or you smell something and you get angry. So it happens. It can happen.
Peppermint leaflets give my husband heartburn.
Do they?
I
Okay.
was told to take them for his digestion process, but then they give
So here's what I learned about peppermint is that it can relax the flapper that's down in your esophagus. So great, yes, great for calming in the stomach, but in some cases, by relaxing that, it can cause acid reflux. So that's a side thing, right? So again, we're all different. So yeah, I know the Tri-Ease actually does that too. The allergy blend capsules that we have that has lemon, lavender, and peppermint in it. A lot of people they'll take those and they'll get heartburn or acid reflux or they'll burp up something and won't like that. So I know James has a couple where he burps it up and can't handle that. Yeah. So yeah, you just kind of have to pay attention what works and what doesn't. And so like peppermint may be good actually topically. Have him try it that way, even if it's just running up and down.
topically
Yeah.
instead of ingesting
Instead of ingesting it.
Did he do it in veggie capsule or did he just?
No, I got
The beadlet.
no, he just put it in his
Just
mouth.
the beadlet one? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, but yeah, never mind.
You may try just topical, see if it has a different effect. Maybe it won't relax that little flapper as much. You know what I mean? So yeah, play with it a little bit. Or switch to Digestin since it's not strictly peppermint and Digestin. That might be the trick. Do you know what I mean? There's more
Maybe.
blends in there. So yeah.
You can ingest digestion?
Absolutely, yeah. Yep, that one I put in water, and I'll shoot it in a shot glass, or I rub it on my tummy. What's your face? What's the aversion? Shooting it, you just can't handle that? Yeah.
I take the capsules.
Do you? Is it you don't like the smell of it or the taste of it? Oh.
Put it in there.
Oh.
All the way down there.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, see, and I don't like fennel. I smell fennel, that black licorice smell.
Oh, I don't like black licorice.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, after using, I actually started when I was pregnant. I would use it just topically, and I'd have to like do this, like not smell it, like just rub it on, and like cover my nose with something else because it was so bad. The fennel would make me want to throw up, but I would put it on, and then my stomach would calm, the throat feeling would go away. So, and now over time, of course, now I shoot it, right, in a shot glass. So where did that come from? It's like my body is okay with fennel now. It knows what it's getting, which is weird. Like it's associated, the fennel smell, even Digestin, it knows it's getting relief. So I can totally shoot it and not gag, and everything's good in the world. So. Okay. Essential oils are dynamic, supporting your body physically and emotionally. So you'll discover that each and every essential oil has both a physical and emotional component and application. And this is because of their chemical complexity. So this is a lot of why we, when we biofeedback scan people, we look at the physical and emotional side, because it could be either reason that it came up for you. So now that goes to say, when you're diffusing an oil, it's good for, you know, such and such for physical side of it. Well, you're going to get the emotional benefit whether you want to or not. You can't eliminate. So you can't say, I want this oil and I only want the physical benefit or only the emotional, but you're going to get both. So when you use them, you just get a lot of goodness going on. So, okay, so the second way that we can use them are topically. So essential oils are transdermal. This means their tiny molecules can pass through your skin and go straight into the circulatory system. Applied anywhere on the body, essential oils will penetrate every cell. Here are some great tips for topical application to affect the 3 brains of the body. Wherever you're holding occasional tension, you can massage an oil into that area for localized support. So we're going to talk about, so here's the examples. Applying over the heart and insides of the wrist, or a fleshy pockets behind the ears. So like even just my Wild Origin example, applying over the heart. So topical use, applying directly to the spot, or like a stomach ache too. You could apply, that's the other one. Apply over stomach area or bottom of the feet. For brain, apply on back of the neck. So back here, across the forehead, bottoms of the feet. Some essential oils pass the blood-brain barrier. Frankincense is a huge one for that blood-brain barrier to pass through there. So that mucosa around the brain, we want that, right? Because that protects our brain. But sometimes there are things that we do need to get in there in order to do some healing, regenerating, getting to the cells, right? Rebuilding cell function. So great for head injuries, concussions, Alzheimer's, that type of thing. Frankincense is a great one. It will cross through that blood-brain barrier and do some regenerating and healing. So awesome stuff with the oils. There are other ones besides frankincense that will cross that blood-brain barrier, which is really cool.
With concussions, don't you have to wait like until, is it like healing after the concussion is not like immediately?
Well, I don't know that you always know immediately, right? You know what I mean? So I don't know. Let me look up actually on the app what it says for concussions, and sometimes, okay. I have people texting me, so I want to make sure they won't go to class. Concussed. I am concussed. No, just kidding. Lavender, lemon, lemongrass, clary. Oh, it doesn't even actually list frankincense in here. Okay, so dilute. It doesn't say to wait.
Okay.
Dilute is recommended. Rub onto the brainstem area, back of the neck, temples, behind the ears, down the jaw, and on reflex points in the feet. And apply as a cold compress as well. Lots of different ways. You can actually use it aromatically, topically, or internally for that. Omegas, it's also recommending the omegas. So like our omega-3 or the XE Omega supplement that we have in the vitamin pack, that's a huge one. And that one actually does have frankincense in it too. It's got 9 essential oils in there. So, you know, omegas are great for brain function, heart function, all of that anyway. So it makes sense why they're recommending that too. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so past tense. So this is another one that's great. Occasional headache, tension, confusion. Okay, so this is one that I'm an opposite on as well. Past tense, a lot of people will use for headaches. I cannot. It makes me want to throw up when I put it on for a headache. So I don't know if it's the wintergreen or what. Does it do this to you too?
Oh, I love.
Oh, do you? Okay, okay. So I have to use deep blue. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's an
Very
example.
much so.
With me, I smell it. There's something in it, and when I have a headache already, and it makes my headache even worse. It makes my stomach start churning. It makes me want to throw up. So I can't do it for that. But for muscle, like tight muscles, I get into some of this, and I won't use deep blue. Do you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So deep blue is more the muscle rub, release of tension like that. So I use the deep blue and actually frankincense for headaches, and like smear that all up in my hair. get it all up in there, and actually my hair is not greasy now that I talk about it. I use the rub and add the frankincense to it and just smear it all around and up in there around my neck, all of that, and that's what kills it for me. And I do a couple drops of frankincense under the tongue. So.
Yeah, we were just talking about past tense the other day, and because I got one when we went to the Symphony of South thing with Regal.
Oh, cool.
I won one of the
Oh, good.
drops, and she's like, "Oh yeah, dilute it." I'm like, "Oh heck no, I use that stuff
Straight.
straight out of the bottle."
Yeah.
It just put it on. It's almost like you said that you know that you're getting it. And
So your body already knows it's coming.
Short amount of time, and it's gone. And I use it at
Yeah.
work when we get work stress related headaches, and
Sure.
migraines are good too. So I usually it's on the temple and the back of my neck for migraines. But
Okay.
a normal headache is just very possible.
Good.
And it worked for my friend that was flying also. My
Oh, yeah.
friend Julie.
See, she used this for a different reason, more for anxiety and so calming, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so she didn't have to take a prescription medicine to fly. And I think it was Xanax or I don't know, whatever they use Xanax, yeah. And so she didn't want to take that because she was sick and she didn't want to mix medications. And so she's like, I'm just not going to take it. I'm going to try this. It's the first time in her life she's ever flown. She flies all the time. Never had to. She sold 3 of these to other people who have the same issue, and now they have ditched the medication, and now this is what they use.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something I would have never thought to use, Pat, honestly. I don't know. When she said she recommended it, I was like, oh, that's not really what I would have thought but it worked for her. Like, she nailed it. So, whatever. You know, whatever works.
I'm not gonna look good yet.
Okay. Let's see.
Hang on.
Okay, so, yep, Pat, you gave all the examples to talk about with past tense, actually. So, all the different ways. So, okay, internally is the other way. So this is strictly for the doTERRA brand. There's no, I can't speak to other brands. There's no way I would know. Most of them, other essential oils will say on the bottle, use internally, use topically, use aromatically, however it is that you're supposed to use it. Most of them will say, intense, huh? Yeah. Most of them will just say aromatically.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh.
All day, yeah.
I use
Oh,
it. I
nice.
use it.
Yeah.
And when it started to get low, I just added more coconut oil because I keep it full strength.
Oh, yeah.
So I could
Keep milking it. So, yeah, most of the oils will say aromatic use only. Some will say topical use, but really if I'm going to the store to buy a lavender and I can't use it at least on my skin, like I could grab a lavender plant and rub it on my skin. I'm breaking open those oil sacs when I do that because I'm crushing the leaves, the buds, all of that. If I can't do that with an oil, that tells me instantly there is something in that bottle. You know, there's something I don't want on my skin. So now with internal use, doTERRA's a lot of the emotional blends are not for internal use. They will have a supplemental facts listing on the label, and that's how you know you can take them internally. Like Digesten,
I was gonna find one for supplemental.
these don't have these aren't internal, so
You can show the.
Do you have lemon up there? Or lime?
no.
And then
Oh yeah, this will be good. Okay, so here is Zendocrine, so I think you can see there. So there's a supplemental facts listing on there. So like here's Forgive. So this one, see there's no supplemental facts on that at all. So that just is a kind of a dead giveaway. Now you can read them. Like under the supplemental facts listing, it says for internal use, dilute 1 drop in 4 fluid ounces of liquid. And then when you roll it around a little bit, it says for aromatic and topical use as well. So it gives you all the uses on the label. So it'll tell you, just by looking at the bottle, you'll have the answer too.
Yeah. And then the other ones don't have
So internal use, you know, kind of what I said with the frankincense, how I just put it directly under my tongue. You can drop it right in your mouth. There are some. Oregano is one you don't want to do that with. Woo, that one is hot and could even blister. Yeah, and I even saw a YouTube video of a woman who put like 10 drops of oregano in her mouth. I don't even know how she made it to drop number 10. But it burned her vocal cords a little bit. So she lost her voice for a week, and she was a singer, so it was a really big deal. So don't do that. Don't go dumping oregano in your mouth. Just use caution when you're done. And really, there are not many that I actually put directly in my mouth. So if anything, I'll put them in my water. And always make sure you have glass or stainless steel. If you use a plastic, it will break down the plastic in the bottle. I know a Nalgene user had put it in her Nalgene and saw the water just kind of cloud up. It's breaking down that plastic and clouding up. Cool thing, go to Chick-fil-A, get their styrofoam cups, and then drop a lemon in there. You'll have a nice little hole in about 5 minutes at the bottom of your cup. That's just a fun trick. Like, don't do that when your drink is still in it. So, but it'll just show you kind of how it breaks down synthetic materials. So now it does not do this in our bodies because we are not synthetic, right? We are real human beings, cellular, built together. So we're not made of plastic.
They were FDA approved.
No, there is, and that is because that's Jenny here. Okay, yeah. So no FDA approval, and honestly, that happens with a lot of homeopathic, holistic type stuff. When it's not made in a lab, there's no way to regulate it. So essential oils are one of them that cannot be regulated by the FDA. So there can't be an approval process, basically. So this is also why, though, that there is such variation in the types of oils that we can get in the essential oil category. So because there's no regulating, the people in the stores, the other brands can list an oil as 100% pure, and maybe this much of the oil is actually pure and this much is some kind of random filler carrier oil in the bottle. We just never know. So that's the key in digging more into the company that you buy an oil from, because you want to find out what their process is, how do they test, what's their standard for purity, that type of thing. So that you really know, since the FDA is not telling you, what works and what doesn't, or what's good and what's not. So, did that answer that? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, yep, On Guard. So this is a good one for seasonal threats, and by that we mean any kind of threat to the body. Really, I'm gonna stay compliant. So I won't dive into that. Okay, so On Guards are what we call protective blend. So this one's got a lot of clove, cinnamon, that type of thing in it. Really good for fighting off, the yuckies that go around every winter. I've also fought off mastitis twice with this, UTI. So things where you might think to go to the doctor and get an antibiotic or something like that. I was able to, I used what we call it the flu bomb, which now we've kind of changed the name of it because we don't want to tie it directly to the flu, but On Guard, oregano, lemon, frankincense, that was kind of my, Melaleuca. I alternate oregano and Melaleuca. Yeah, just to get the variety. And so I would take capsules every 2 hours, and that was really how I fought that out. Now, I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. I mean, please don't take it that way, but when I was nursing, I didn't want to be on an antibiotic. I'm sure you know, right? Yeah, so I was really trying hard not to have to do that, especially with mastitis. And I had the UTI at the same time because I got that in the hospital. So anyway, I just attacked it with this flu bomb recipe and really, really dove into it and was able to knock it all out without any antibiotics. I have a hungry teenager in the kitchen. Okay. That's my Brecken, by the way.
Nice Brecken too.
Okay. Word. Do you like that? Oh, Word. You probably did this too, huh? Okay. Cellular support for the 3 brains. Okay, so the vitamin pack. This is our Lifelong Vitality Vitamin Pack. Adds daily support with minerals, micronutrients, and healthy fat. Essential oils enhance absorption of nutrition on a cellular level. So like I said, this is the one, the XE Omega. It's the omega, it's land and sea omegas. It's got essential oils in it as well. Okay, so vitamins, right? Who takes a vitamin? Who takes a multivitamin? Well, you guys. Yeah, I know. Okay. Well, wrong crowd to ask this.
I take vitamins, I think, too.
Okay. So most Americans need, really, let's be honest, every American needs to be on some type of multivitamin, because we just don't get the vitamins and minerals that we used to in plants. They just are not the same. So So, okay, I have always been on fancy, expensive chiropractic special order vitamins, right? Always. So when I started with doTERRA, I was like, yeah, I want the oils. Let's push this vitamin pack off to the side. So I did start it for about 9 months once I first got into doTERRA. And then I just had Elliot. I switched over from my prenatal that I was on, switched over to starting the vitamin pack, and I was only doing half the dose to start off. So I did 2 months worth of it, and then I took my 3-month-old baby and my hormonal post-pregnancy self on a road trip to Salt Lake City to go to the big, giant doTERRA convention. And I had run out of my vitamins. And that was a gigantic mistake. Okay, so let me tell you when you find out if your multivitamin does something for you, when you stop taking it.
Terrazine is a big one.
Oh yeah, like you die, right? You're just like, my body doesn't know how to function. So yeah.
I haven't run out of these yet, thank God.
Yeah. Oh, I have at least one, if not 2, lifelong vitalities on backup at all times. Like I get anxious if there are not 2 sitting in my cabinet.
Yeah.
So
I feel so great on
yeah, this has truly been the only vitamin that I've actually been able to say I completely feel a difference, right? Normally, before I would always say, oh, my pee's yellow. That must mean that things are going well. I'm absorbing. You don't want yellow pea because you're not absorbing it. That's what's happening.
No, that never happened with any of that.
No, yeah, you don't get yellow pea with these, and you actually do feel a difference. When I was off of them for about 2 weeks, and people started commenting to me at convention, are you doing okay? You don't look well. Are you doing all right? Are you I was apparently white. I started breaking out. My face started breaking out again, which was super cool. And I was just sad and like mopey and just like stressed out. I mean, of course I had a 3-month-old baby with me too, so that played a little bit of it, but I mean, it was bad. It was really bad. So yeah, I won't do that ever again. So now I talk to people about the vitamin pack because it's important. It's huge and it really makes a big difference. So briefly, the XE Omega 9 essential oils and omega fatty acids for all 3 brains, supporting brain nourishment, heart and circulatory health, and digestive function. The alpha CRS contains potent antioxidants that promote chemical communication and cellular pathways. Alpha CRS it's called the cellular vitality complex, really addressing inflammation in the body, rebuilding cells, that type of thing. So huge. A lot of people try to get away with just the vitamin and mineral and the omega. Alpha CRS, gotta have that in there. It's just a huge game changer.
Good for inflammation also.
Yep, huge inflammation. Yep. Okay, so Microplex MVP or it does say MVP. It's the vitamin mineral laundry list of vitamins and minerals. I mean, you got to look at the back of the bottle. If you go onto doTERRA's website and look up supplements, it's in there. You can look all about these, read the labels. Sorry, I just had my paper. I was like this. Sometimes I forget this is still here. You can read the supplemental facts label and really look at everything that's in these bottles. So optimal levels of micronutrients for immune function and energy. And a couple years ago, doTERRA did a giant study on vitamins. Really, they wanted to show us these results that they've done at convention one year. And so, there's a lot of, and this is what I've always been on, those packs of vitamins. They've got like 8 or 9 of things in there, right? So those, or the simplified, like the 1-a-days, the ones you can buy at the store. Mega dose of something in 1 capsule. Okay, so guess what is the most common found item in our sewage system? Yeah, Centrum 1-a-days, and the other one that's similar to that, the 1-a-day and the whatever it is. So you're pooping them out. You're not actually absorbing anything from those things. Now, the mega packs is like a mega boost of stuff. What they've found is that you're actually not absorbing all of the levels of everything that they're putting in those packs. So you're kind of wasting vitamins, right? You're spending extra money, you're wasting vitamins. So doTERRA had done a lot of studies on what are you actually absorbing? What does the body, what is it capable of absorbing? How much is too much? How much is not enough? Where's the fine line, right? And so some of the stuff could be higher, some of it could be a little bit lower, but they really try to just balance it all out and give you what your body's really actually going to absorb. if that makes sense. So, okay, so that's that. So let's go on. Oh, any questions so far? I'm sorry, I have not.
The one thing about the vitamins is I have to take the second set midday and not too close to night because it boosts my energy.
Yep.
So I
hear
can't
that a
take
lot.
it before I go to bed like some people can, but for me it I see a big difference in my energy.
And I'm one, it doesn't matter what time of day I take it. I try to take it earlier just because I fear that I won't. If I have to take mine at night, I actually take my Serenity capsules along with it just to make sure I sleep. I don't know. I've never stayed awake because I took my vitamins at night, but
What does
I-
vitamin? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
What does the vitamin pack do for the emotions?
Okay, so really, I struggle with depression. I had in the past, and that's really when I noticed that it started to level out my emotions. So it kind of, really what the vitamin pack is doing is giving your body what it needs to function optimally, right? So if there's a thing that's offsetting your body to which can, then this is where we tie into the gut, into why it affects the brain. If your gut is unbalanced, something's offset, you're not getting exactly what you need physically, nutritionally, then it can affect your brain. It can. So by giving your body just that foundation, just starting with that, you're going to notice a difference in emotions and, like you said, energy. Really, the target of it is to reduce inflammation in the body, which inflammation alone can be a lot of cause of different disease, disorders, that type of thing. So reducing inflammation, increasing energy, and increasing mood. And that's definitely, hands down, what I would say it does. Just from my own experience, when I get off of it, and I am off of it for a while, I notice, huge shifts in those main categories. So did that answer? Okay. Who asked?
Well, I was just gonna
Oh.
say, I take mine in the morning with breakfast and at lunch, and then at dinner.
Yeah.
I take vitamins with dinner, but and that whole system was really what boosted my first 10 pounds of weight loss.
Yep. Okay. Oh, you mean the
I had a lot
cleanse?
of inflammation, that the inflammation just like decreased and
Sure.
came off in weight.
Sure. Yep.
So, yes.
That absolutely makes sense.
Can maybe share that? Can she hear that?
Did you hear that, Jenny?
No.
Oh, okay. So
Some of it, yes.
what's that?
Yes and no. My dogs are running around playing.
Oh,
But yeah.
okay. Okay.
You
So
can
yeah.
just repeat that.
Yeah, she was just saying how, and you were talking about the vitamin pack, not like the cleanse items, right?
Well, I did the cleanse.
With the vitamin, okay. So she kind of did conjoin the cleanse, which is what we'll talk about here, with the vitamin pack, and just by implementing all of that is when she noticed she just recently lost about 10 pounds. So she said that's when she really saw that shift, and the weight just kind of dropped off by decreasing her inflammation in her gut.
And it's still coming off.
Yeah, still coming off. Good.
Yes.
Yeah, good. Every morning a little bit more, huh?
Yeah.
Good. So, okay, gut cleansing restores clear thinking and improves mood. So this is huge, and this is a little bit where I share my story. So just my own personal background. So it was actually about 10 years ago, I got on an antidepressant, or I was probably on it actually for a year. It was about 10 years ago that I tried to get off of it. So I tried to get off of this antidepressant that I've been on for 2 years. And really what started wanting to get on it, I just felt like I couldn't function anymore. I just felt like I couldn't function. And there was a point where I was at work, I was typing away on my computer, and I literally felt this. Screen down, end of scene. That's it. So just done. I couldn't think anymore. I couldn't process how to do my job. I would sit at my computer and I know I should know this, but I don't even know what I'm doing. And I was actually asked to leave my job at that point. So I was, used to supporting myself, I was a single mom for, 9 years, totally supported myself. It was a very huge shift in my life. And so once that happened, it just kind of declined for a while. I had gotten on an antidepressant just a little bit before that because things were starting to really go downhill and shift. And I thought I was depressed. And so I talked to my doctor for, 10 minutes. He threw me on an antidepressant, and I never saw him again. So, and was on it for 2 years. I did try to get off of it. I tried to wean myself off. and which was probably part of the mistake at the first time, because the more I've learned about this, it can take like a year or more to actually correctly wean off of something like this. So I tried to wean off. I was engaged to my now husband. We knew we were going to have babies soon. So I was trying to prep my body for that, after we were to get married. And so actually I did it at the beginning of the summer, and ended up losing essentially the entire summer. So I was asleep the whole summer. I could not stay awake during the days. It would take me 2 hours every morning to warm up my joints enough to where I could walk around. I don't know if Dalton's told you this, but so Shannon's son was friends with my son, and I was sleeping all summer. Okay. So his friends were seeing this, and so they thought I was a night nurse. Did he say that? Yeah. They thought I was a night nurse, that I would work at night and I would come home and sleep during the day. Yeah, no, I just could not. I would be awake at night. I couldn't sleep at night. I'd want to get on the treadmill. If I even attempted a workout, I used to run 5 miles, no problem. So if I would attempt a workout, it would take me about 4 days to be able to actually use my body again. I mean, it was like I had run for 4 days. I mean, it was that bad. My body hurt so bad. So I stopped even attempting it. But at 9 o'clock every night, I would want to get on the treadmill. And so I'd have to fight that urge. I was trying to, okay, no, I need to be winding down. I need to be sleeping now. Like, why is my body on this complete opposite cycle? I swear I had rheumatoid arthritis. I had every test in the book run, every endocrine test you could look at, 19 vials of blood sucked out of me. They did every test in the book, and they told me I needed to diet and exercise more. And so that's when I did a little of this. I'm not going to show you what I did.
I'll text her at
So I was like, nope, that's not what needs to happen. There's a bigger problem here. So I had actually even gained 60 pounds in that 3 months that I was sleeping. And I wasn't, if anything, I wasn't eating as much because I was sleeping all the time. So I was like, nope, diet and exercise, not the problem. So what ended up happening, I did find a naturopathic doctor a little while later, and I somehow managed to get through esthetician and massage school during this time. Don't know how. I think my educators just felt sorry for me and passed me because I did the time and I put my hours in. But really, it was one of those situations where I couldn't recall anything. I would have a client come in and I'd be like, it's the this is your, and the this, and this. And I couldn't use words. I could not recall actual words, terms, anything. I couldn't even explain things to people. I would forget entire conversations. I'd have a conversation with my husband, and he'd be like, we talked about this last night. And I'm like, yep, nothing there. Have no recollection. I'd watch a movie the next morning after watching it the night before, and like zero recollection. Okay, when you've seen a movie before, and it's been a long time, you watch it again, and you're like, oh, yeah, I remember this. Nothing at all. So it was awful. So anyway, between all of that, right, I somehow got through school. My stepmom had a health crisis, so I did address that for a little while, and then I finally went to a naturopathic doctor, and we really got some answers. So my cortisol ended up being completely opposite of a normal person. Fight or flight hormone really stacks this chunk of weight right here. So explained my weight gain. Really explained, my estrogen was showing I was in menopause. My testosterone was too high. Just lots of huge hormone imbalance, right? And had some thyroid issues. I had been rear-ended in 3 rear-ending accidents, all within that time frame, 2 of when this happened, which I was explained that jolting the thyroid could have triggered a lot of this too. Now, the more that I've dove into gut health, so since all of this, I've really dove into gut health, what affects the brain, and really thinking back on my life, I actually think my problem started as a child. So eating Twinkies, right? Mm-hmm. All the processed, really cool microwave dinners that were coming out then, like microwave food was a big thing, boxed meals, things like that. So our diet, for one, and rounds of antibiotics. I had many ear infections as a kid, destroying my gut bacteria and never repairing it. So if anybody's ever been on an antibiotic, you need to have a probiotic. You have to rebuild that. It's not going to rebuild itself. So, so yeah, just thinking about all the things through my childhood that would have destroyed my gut. And then, of course, in my 20s, you know, I had a baby at 19, so medications galore. I was induced, lots of that kind of stuff. Then on into my 20s, where I enjoyed a little bit of the single life at the bar, you know, a little too much. I knew that I was sensitive to gluten. I would get a rash that would break out on my finger, but it was never enough to like put me out. You know, I'd eat the pizza, I'd drink the beer, I'd eat the ballpark pretzel. Ugh. Even the gooey thick cheese. Think about that stuff, man. That just like clogs your intestines. Oh, it's so gross. Oh my God.
Yeah, I remember
So-
my practice.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh, just awful. Yeah.
stepped out of breath and
Yeah. Yeah. So my diet all through my 20s, and then of course I was in a very stressful and toxic relationship right before the curtain came down. So when I think about all of that, that totally explains what happened to me. I just didn't know it at the time, right? So gut cleansing became my best friend. So and really, doTERRA did not have this cool 30-day cleanse that we have now at the time, which would have just been a life-changing thing for me. What happened was, okay, I first got pregnant with Elliot, which, side note, we had to go through fertility treatments in order to have our 2 little ones because my fallopian tubes ended up being completely blocked. Well, when you look up hormone imbalance, right, all of this stuff that triggered hormone imbalance for me, one of the prime things that happens to women is blocked fallopian tubes when hormone imbalance comes into play. So, I mean, look at the shit show this created in my body, right? So, blocked fallopian tubes, went through IVF treatments, so medications, doing injections, medications, galore. I had to be induced again for that baby. Then I got a bladder infection in the hospital. They gave me an antibiotic. So I get out, and I'm already sensitive to gluten, so I knew that when I went into breastfeeding. Avoid the gluten. Dairy seemed to trigger, so I started to avoid dairy. Really was watching what I was eating, really watching it, because I would see it in my child when I nursed him. And then I started getting a really cool snake-like rash on my skin, like snake skin that would peel and then itch like crazy. So, and it happened to be only on my ring finger. I called it my gluten finger. And as the skin would get used up, like irritated, and it had nowhere else to go, it used more skin. And then it merged all over my hand. It kept going all parts of my hands. And then, oh, I gotta find my picture. I'm actually gonna find. No, I'm not gonna find it on there. I'll show it to you, Jenny, on the when I. So stress, right, can be a trigger for our gut. Real inflammation, it causes inflammation in our gut. And you pack any of this other stuff on top of it, any of our horrible foods. We cannot, as humans, process gluten. I don't care who you are. We just should not be eating it. Okay, it's not our wheat, our flours are not the way that they used to be. You get your flour from France. Absolutely, you can eat it. I've done that before. I've eaten French flour, French bread, straight from actual France, and can eat it, and I have no problems. So yes, it's the American. It's what we are allowed in America, which it should absolutely not be allowed. So anyway.
And the other thing is gluten can live in your system up to a year.
Oh yeah, it takes forever to get it out. Yeah. Yeah, and then dairy, on top of that, dairy can turn into sugar. Sugar was a trigger for me. When you think about this, what our bodies can actually process and what they can't, it makes absolute sense why my gut just exploded. So, welcome candida, right? Yeast overgrowth galore in the gut, and then leaky gut. So when it has nowhere else to go and you've completely destroyed your intestines, you get holes in your intestines and it leaks through into your body. And then it has nowhere else to go, so it comes out your skin. So explains snake fingers, right? So the whole thing makes sense when you think about it. So I had to kill the yeast, kill the candida, heal the leaky gut, and then I would be on my way. Now I had no idea what anything was. I had no idea about any of this. I was learning this all by myself, really. I had seen a naturopathic doctor. She gave me some answers to my hormones, but it was finding all of this gut stuff out was a whole nother journey that I had to do kind of on my own. And mostly because naturopathic doctors are expensive. So $250 for an hour visit, I'm sorry, I can't keep doing that. So what I loved about doTERRA, it came along at this time. I had just gotten pregnant with Elliot. When I started dabbling in it, by the time I had him, had my snake fingers start to happen, I was aware of a little bit more, aware of what was happening, what I should be avoiding, what I shouldn't be doing. So GX Assist and PB Assist comes in a little two-pack set. GX, think GI tract cleanse, right? So it's a cleanse, a 10-day cleanse of your GI tract. PB Assist is probiotic. And then you follow that up with 2 weeks of probiotics. So I started doing that while I was nursing. It's gentle. It was okay for nursing. And I noticed, I wasn't making the connection actually right away, but I noticed that my gluten finger would die down when I would do that. At one point I thought it was that I needed to live by the beach because it happened all at the same time. I had just finished a cleanse and then went to South Carolina for 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, I need to, so in South Carolina, I'm eating all vegetables and seafood. That's all that was happening, right? Think about my diet. I had just finished the cleanse. My finger was happier than ever. I was not having any of this happen. So I'm like, okay, it's the mountains. I can't be at the mountains. That's what it is. No, it wasn't. It was my gut. So you can live anywhere and still have a bad gut.
Yeah.
Okay, so GX Assist, PB Assist, I was doing those often. Terrazyme I would dabble in, but I truly didn't know enough at the time, so I wasn't using it as well or as much as I should have been. Okay, so get done nursing that baby. We go another year. I'm still trying to figure all this out. I do identify sugar as a trigger, and the way that I figured it out was actually with bananas. So I happened to, at this very same time, have 2 other friends that had the same things happening to them. I mean, same finger, same gluten finger. Okay, so same things happening, same food triggers. So we were kind of working on this together. One of them happened to be on my doTERRA team, was out at convention with me. So we were doing a little muscle testing with food because we were like, we're eating well. We're all following this diet. We're eating well while we're out here. What is the deal? Well, she had 3 bananas one day and I had one. When you're at convention, you pack your snacks. Like, that's what you eat. That's what you're eating. That's how it goes. It's like, go. You got your snacks in your bag and that's it. So she had 3 bananas. She just ate her bananas that day and had the worst symptoms that day. So we did some muscle testing with bananas. What's in bananas? Sugar. Yep, sugar. So wine was another giant trigger for me. Alcohol and sugar. Grapes are the highest content of sugar, right? So this is when it really started to fall into place for me. It started to make sense. I started to get what was going on. A little bit later, decided to have our other little one. So again, more fertility drugs, more medications, go through another birth. Again, it happened all over again. So by now, the 30-day cleanse has come out. And this is with Zendocrine, so hormone cleanse, kidney liver cleanse. Then you move to the GX Assist. Then you move to Restoring, which with PB Assist, and then DDR Prime. DDR Prime is the cellular, the DNA repair blend. So using all of these together in conjunction has completely saved and rebuilt my gut. So, and over this time of using oils, using being on the vitamins, doing the cleanses, my brain has come back. I clearly, look at this. I'm actually able to speak to you through a presentation. I can explain things and not point and make motions, right? I'm using words. This is good. We're making progress. So I can recall things.
You won't
So-
tomorrow go, I did that.
What? We had a class yesterday? Huh. Yeah. So, okay. So stress, I want to add how stress can really affect things, because I don't think people really understand the gravity of stress until, maybe something like this happens. So here we go. Let me find them. Actually, I bet you, let me get out of this. Let me open these up. Okay, everybody might need to close their eyes a minute because I do have weight loss pictures on here and it's me in a bathing suit and nobody needs to see that right now. So that's the only thing I'm concerned about.
Everybody look away.
Oh God, I'm really nervous. Okay, photo stream. How do we get to date? This is a
We can't look. So we
I
can't.
know. Yeah, good. See, she's following the rules. I like her. Maybe people? No, memories, photos. Here we go.
Top, there's yours.
Here. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thanks. Let's not scan through everything. Oh, this is good. That's not a bad one to fall on. Okay. Years. Here we go. Okay, so we're in March of 2015. Nope. Wait, I bet I can find it this way. Oh, March. Let's go back.
Right there.
Do you see him?
March.
So-
Oh, I was pointing to the wrong screen. This one, March 20th?
January. Maybe I just need to get in here.
Yeah, and then it'll.
Prom? No. Why am I not? There's my strange son making funny pictures. 2015, March.
Are you sure it was 2015? Your memory was kind of funny then.
I have it right here.
No, I'm
March
just saying.
16, 2015. Why is it
Can
showing
you
up here and
scan
not?
it and just show it in the camera?
Well, I could. It's just this is easier to see if we can.
Yeah.
Collections. Where's my collections? Oh, collections. Here we go.
So it's
March.
Is your phone?
Is it not clouded over?
synced to your computer?
It should be. Oh, I made an album for my son and his girlfriend at the time, so that's what all these are about. Well, I can
Those two places, maybe.
see. Here's our beach photo shoot right here, where I thought I needed to live in South Carolina. I thought that was my problem. Okay, so I don't know. I'm just gonna show you here then. Okay, so here, I'll show you Jenny. This is when it starts. So this is me on medications for fertility, and then stress happens. So what happened was I have to do belly shots when I first start, and then it turns over to butt shots, right? I can't do butt shots myself. So Hobbs has to do them. Well, I had to get on a plane. It was March, leadership retreat month. I had to get on a plane to go to leadership retreat. And I'm like, how am I going to do this shot in my butt by myself? There's no way. So I start, okay, so scroll through those as you go. There's a few more. So as you go, and I'll show you in a minute here, Jenny. So I start to swell. What? Doing my butt shot? Oh, no. No.
Oh my.
Yeah. So what happened was, as the days get closer, I had eaten some gluten and some dairy. I drank some wine because I was super stressed, and then it overkill because I was so stressed out. So so by the morning of getting on the plane, was the bad picture. Eyes completely swollen shut, can't open them hardly at all. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going. I'm not getting on a plane like this. I'm not going to attempt this. I'm not going to go. Within a matter of hours of just saying I'm not going, I texted everybody. I said I won't be there. I'm so sorry. My eyes have swollen shut. Blah blah blah. So here's what it is, Jenny. Here's where it starts, and then these are in the few days before, and then this is morning of needing to get on the airplane. So I know, right? So okay, so I say I'm not going to go anymore. So by the next, this as it got better. Oh no, wait.
You let him do it.
Yep. So here, I decide I'm not going on the airplane. Within a couple of hours, that's what I looked like. So this was the one after a couple of hours of saying I'm not going to go on the airplane, and I just sat down on the couch and I chilled out. So then the swelling went down. So look at what inflammation and stress does in our gut, right? And this was it came out every hand that it could, and then it came out my eyes. So when it's really, really bad, the eyes will happen. And I haven't had that happen since I started doing the 30-day cleanse. And I dabble a lot. You should see my wine stock that I've got up there in the other closet. I just ordered a case of wine from a benefit thing. Yeah. Okay, so I eat gluten every now and then. I do love me some cheese. I do really try to stick to the grass-fed. Those I can process and function a lot better with. And I really try to steer away from it in general, or like lactose-free cream cheese or something like that. I'll try to go those directions if I am going to eat that. But I can tell, I mean, my joints swell up. Even after a night of drinking wine, my fingers and my joints inflamed. I can feel it when I try to bend my fingers. So it still has an effect on me. It's just that I can get away with life now. You know what I mean? And it's not that debilitating. So cleansing is huge and important and super good for just anybody, really. Being on the probiotic is a huge one for, if you've been on any kind of an antibiotic ever in your life, or even really medication. When I think about medications I had been on all through my early life, like it just completely makes sense why what happened. So 90% of your body's serotonin is produced in the gut, which is exactly why I thought I was depressed, because my gut was unhealthy, which that's why I was depressed. So the PB Assist contains pre and probiotics. Very cool technology that they've done. Capsule inside of a capsule. You'll see it. It's cool color. Blue capsule inside of a bigger one. The outer capsule dissolves in the stomach while it passes the inner capsule down to the intestines, and there it dissolves. So
Cool.
yes. And then they do have a PB Assist Junior, actually, that they just came out with. It's in a pixie stick form almost. You just snip the top of it. They shoot it down the hatch. There is a little bit of a sweetener in there just to get the kids to take it. But same technology, capsule outside of the capsule. And so same type of concept, dissolving in there. Tastes like strawberries. I know adults that take it too, just as an extra boost and just to feel like you're eating candy. We call them the candy sticks around here. They have no idea they're probiotics. So if anybody hears candy stick, they're talking about the probiotic.
Can you cleanse?
I would do it mildly, like the GX Assist PB Assist, just because you can overclot, you know what I mean? And it can get in the milk, and that's always a concern. I actually did do the 30-day cleanse with Everly when I was nursing her, just because I had to. Like, I was in a high stress period during that time, and I just had to, or that was it, And I just really paid attention to her. Is her stomach hurting? Is it affecting her at all? Is she sluggish? Those types of things. So, yeah. So hi! Is she? Okay. Yeah. We have another baby here sleeping. Hi. A 3-month-old. Named Bracken. No joke. Sitting right here.
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay, so Terrazyme digestive enzyme. So that's really what helps break down your foods. On my Facebook group page, if you guys haven't seen this, add her to the Facebook group. And same for Jenny, if you want to add her. In the search bar, search digestive enzyme. I do a little video with instant oatmeal. So just stirring up a little thing of it's not even instant oatmeal. I made my gluten-free. Right. So I make normally gluten-free oatmeal. I put a little bit of honey, a little bit of maybe coconut sugar, something like that in there.
My essential wellness.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so I open up a Terrazyme capsule and dump it in the oatmeal. So especially gluten-free. I mean, let's think about this. It's super sticky and clumpy. So as I'm stirring with the capsule in there, it liquefies. Like you actually see liquid in there. So that's what Terrazyme is doing in our stomach, in our gut. It's helping to really break down the food, helps us break it down, and makes it easily absorbable so that we can actually absorb what we're eating. A lot of times we're not even absorbing what we're even ingesting. So, GX Assist is the GI tract cleanse. Lemon oil is a great one. Lemon will continually flush and detox, help flush things out. So you're going to get the benefits of detoxing just with lemon oil as well.
So you mentioned to her only do the
GX Assist and PB Assist, just because it would be milder. I wouldn't go with the Zendocrine quite yet, because that could cause hormone, and you don't want to mess with your hormones right now. You know what I mean? You know how it is.
So everything but the Zendocrine?
Really, essentially, yes. Like even the DDR Prime you could do. You could do a little bit of lemon. I just wouldn't do a whole lot. And some people switch up the lemon when they're doing the cleanse. They might do lime, grapefruit. All the citruses are going to help flush. Even the Slim and Sassy, avoid Slim and Sassy and avoid peppermint while nursing. Peppermint can decrease milk production. Now, like I would do Slim and Sassy 3 or 4 times a day in my water. I loved it, and it helps with my sugar cravings. So I was in a fight constantly because it helped with my sugar cravings, but it would decrease my milk. So, but it was only after a week that I noticed a decrease in milk. So now some people can take peppermint once and they'll notice a little dip in it. So you never know. You know what I mean? So
Does spearmint work same way as peppermint?
No.
So maybe you could use spearmint to
Sure.
help with sugar cravings instead of peppermint.
Well, I think it's the cinnamon that actually helps with the sugar cravings. Yeah. Because when I am using the Slim and Sassy, I don't need a brownie every day, and it's a gluten-free brownie. I don't need a gluten-free brownie every day. So, but yeah, I mean that's my jam, that gluten-free brownie, right? So, if I can get the Slim and Sassy in my system, it helps me to not need the sugar as much. So.
Yeah, Jen
Plus, it
likes-
detoxes itself too.
right, and Jen's kind of that way too. She likes that she's got a sweet tooth. So
Yeah,
that might be
yeah,
something
yeah.
for
Slim and
her.
Sassy's great,
Yeah,
and it detoxes, it flushes. So that's another reason to kind of avoid the Slim and Sassy while nursing too.
Slim and Sassy oil.
Slim and Sassy oil, yeah, or the capsules, because it'll flush lymphatic. Like I'll put it over my belly if I'm swollen one day, especially after my wine night. I spray it all over my belly to help to flush, get that stuff flushing out, get it moving out.
Let's get some of that right now.
Yeah.
every weekend, every night.
Be placing an order later today.
So yeah, don't do the Zendocrine either. I wouldn't do that because that's that hormone, kidney, liver detox. So I would just dabble with the GX Assist, PV Assist in your current situation until you're done nursing. Then go full board on the 30-day. And we have a protocol for the 30 days, so you guys don't have to memorize this.
I have it.
Little check mark, awesome. Yeah, lays it all out. You don't even have to think about it. So yeah, real cool. Okay, let's get moving on. So, so emotional oils. So here's, when you're looking at addressing emotions, I love these 6 emotional oils. I love the wheel, and the wheel you can get online. I think it used to come with the kit, but it also comes in the handout. So really just identifying, what feeling are you feeling right now? And say you're in a grieving state, right? So see how grieving is a tree, and it's between console and forgive. So herbs and grasses, trees, and then you can even dabble into florals. So maybe you need a little bit of peace since it's halfway into that floral area, and console. Or you could try console and forgive. So see how to use that wheel to your benefit. Now, forgive, I've had this come up on people's bio scans. Forgive doesn't mean that you've got somebody that you're angry at. It can even mean you need to forgive yourself for something. And I will tell you, 9 times out of 10, that's why it's that you need to give yourself a break about something. Did you find that?
Hey,
Nicer.
Yeah, I will diffuse it
So in the
before.
office, I roll it on me so that I'm not like, what do you mean you forgot your appointment?
Right,
Send
not
a 43
snarky.
text.
Yep.
Could you just remember?
I've had times where I've had to have a difficult conversation, maybe on the phone or in person, and I smear that all over me, or I diffuse it. I'll spend 30 minutes diffusing it before I even make the phone call, and I will tell you forgive. The conversation goes like 90% in the opposite direction than I thought it would be. Of course, yes. Oh yeah,
Up and down his
subliminally they're gonna get the benefit. Sure. Sure. Okay, so does this make sense? Does the wheel make sense? How to use it? And I mean, you can't go wrong, right? So even if you want to use console and cheer at the same time, opposite sides, but roll with it. Passion does not mean sexual passion, although it could. You never know.
said that on Facebook.
I know that I'll have what she's having. That was from
It's got language.
oh yeah, the movie clip, Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
What movie was that from? It's the one where she does that whole like orgasm in the restaurant. When Harry Met Sally. Yes. Yeah, so I'll have what she's having.
Isn't it inspiring blends though? I mean, that's the
Passion,
blend.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really just passion for life is really what they identify it with. But a lot of people associate it with even a sexual passion just because it does have ylang-ylang in it. Ylang-yalang's good for his ylang-ylang. Okay. Show that camera. Just as a side note. All right. Okay, so habits and lifestyle. So this chart, really use this on your own. Check what's working, what's not, maybe circle what's not. It's basically to help you identify where you need to focus more. So is it the health, the heart, the mind, the heart, or the gut? And it could equally be all of them, right? So think about my story, how it was all of it was a mess. So. Okay, so what you need to weed out. So remember, we're either planting seeds or we're growing weeds. So get the negative thoughts out and replant some new things. So this is a lot of where maybe a scent will associate with something negative. I have smells that I'll smell and it will take me back to a bad time in my life. So avoid those, obviously, right? And then like the spearmint is something that I like to smell. So spearmint, you can actually, start to root it to positive things in your life. Maybe affirmations. Anybody affirmation people? Pick an affirmation, pick an oil that you love, say it together. You're rooting your smell with your affirmation. So then you'll start to smell that and you'll be thinking what your affirmation was, right? Yep. Associate the positive with the smell, and then you have an association. So what do you want to plant? What new beliefs? What relationships? What supplements? How do you nourish your seeds? What habits and practices and patterns do you need to implement? And those are things that we can help you with. If you need to just revamp, or if you need some tips in certain areas, ask away. We're here to help. So this is the end. Ooh, that's weird. Well, I don't know why that's showing up. You fill a bucket drop by drop. You clear your mind thought by thought, and you heal yourself moment by moment.
That was good. Thank you.
Yes.
That was really great.
Any questions? Did I glaze you all over? Jenny, you good?
Yes.
Okay. Well, excellent. Let me, I am not sure. Oh, I am stopping. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. So email me, text 303-250-7756 if you're watching the recording and you have any questions, or contact your upline. Thanks for joining.